Yo, what's good guys? This is Chris from WearTesters.com, and apparently the future is now. Too dramatic?
No, you're very cute.
Can you stop saying that?
Why?
Okay? Because we're supposed to be manly creatures, and inch by inch, you're chopping off portions of my penis every time you say that. You're so cute. Thanks. You're so cute. Thanks. So for those of you curious, before we get into everything, and I'm talking to our regular viewers, if you're new here, what's up? But if you're a regular and you're kind of like wondering like, who is that weirdo on the other side of the camera?
What?
It's her right there. That's Mrs. Wing. Okay, say hi.
Hi.
Hi. So you see what's behind her. Okay, that is why she's not on camera. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't have a backdrop for her, and she needs to be right there because what are you looking at right here? Well, first off, you're kind of tethered to it.
Yeah.
So
I need to be able to hear.
Okay, so you're the sound monitor.
Yeah.
Making sure that everything's working.
Yes.
And then you're also looking at that because we can't flip it up.
No.
And so you're making sure that, you know, everything is good and that we're on time because I talk a lot, right?
Yes, I sit here and go.
Yes, exactly. So again, if you're a regular viewer here, you kind of get the gist of everything. And for those of you asking like, why isn't she on camera? She actually is. You just, for whatever reason, don't watch those videos. Maybe it's because it's of a shoe that you're for some reason not interested in, but that's not our fault. That's kind of your fault. So just be patient. When we finally are able to get that YouTube money that a lot of you guys like to tell me that I have, that I don't know where it's at. Somehow they have access to my bank account.
Can they slip some more money in there?
For real, if they could share some of that YouTube money that they're talking about with us, I'd be like greatly appreciated, because what we do is self-funded. So like what money we earn back from the videos, from the ads that you see thrown throughout, that helps pay for the footwear, that helps pay for the gas, the gym memberships, and the camera equipment and all that stuff. So it's a practical thing, a little, what is it called? BTS, behind the scenes?
Yeah.
Just putting it out there. Watch every video, support what we do, so that way we can get that YouTube money, so that we can put a backdrop back there and I can get another camera and face it at her. But today we are talking about the future that is currently in the present, and that is the very first auto-lacing performance shoe that has ever come to market, which is insane to think about, right? Just off top.
Yeah.
But I know that you got a lot of thoughts on this. There's a lot of people with a lot of thoughts on this too, and I am actually, surprisingly enough, I'm kind of in the middle of everything. I'm not a Nike hater. I'm also not a Nike lover. It's funny because I was just reading an article because we were tagged in it. And that guy was like talking a ton of trash about Nike because he feels, because he's gone to these events, these press events, which I've gone to as well. But when you get invited to those things, they put you up in a fancy ass hotel. They feed you fancy meals. They basically butter your ass up.
They schmooze you.
Yes, they schmooze you in hopes that you say something nice, because they're trying to sell product. And that's what this article was alluding to. The guy straight up said that the shoes are stupid and that there's no need or place for them, and I'm paraphrasing obviously, but that's what he was saying. And he was saying that everybody that attends these events are corporate shills and this, that, and the other. A little extreme, I think. I don't disagree wholeheartedly, but I also think that it's a little extreme. But again, it's also a telling sign, because like people like us that actually are not fabricating our opinion or just enamored with the fact that there's a shoe that goes, you know what I mean? Like that's, we're pretty chill about it. We love footwear. We love talking about footwear. We love talking about it with you guys. So that's kind of like where we're at, but I just thought it was interesting. So the Nike Adapt BB is the shoe that's kind of like been buzzing right now. Everybody's talking about it. We're obviously talking about it. It's the brand new news of today. And I think that the shoe is interesting. It's a completely knit upper. The interior features kind of like cable cords and all that stuff with mechanism in the midfoot that will auto adapt to your foot, whether you need it loose or tight.
See how it moves in all that direction? And it doesn't change its containment properties. What it's doing is it's memorizing your shape. So normally, obviously, your foot's not pulling in all these directions, but your foot is doing that. That's the part, right? And putting it up, you know, putting pressure into that pocket. Now, I'll continue to do it, and then you can see the deformation that happens there. And
on top of that, the system is supposed to remember how you like it, which is pretty cool if we're just thinking about things in a technology like standpoint. Now, underfoot is a midsole made out of Cushlon, which I think is a great Nike foam. I don't think it's outstanding. It's definitely no React, but I also think that it's like a really solid option. Maybe not for $350, but at this point, you're not paying for Cushlon. You're paying for the Adapt system, period. And the first shoe to have that was the Hyper Adapt, also known as Earl. And that shoe retailed for like $700 something. Okay, so this one's $350. They've dropped the price down because the tech has been modified. It's not quite as new, but it's still pretty new. Still not mainstream market level yet, but they're getting there. And then underneath that, they have a modified outsole. This particular colorway that is the featured kind of colorway is translucent. We've been told that there's going to be solid rubber options as well, so there will be more than one colorway releasing. And the outsole was kind of like inspired by the Air Force One and the Air Jordan 1 outsole, which is some of the best traction that you can get. That's pretty much the gist of everything. I don't want to go over all of the PR mumbo jumbo because I think the story is dumb, right? Because you read it. I made her read it.
Yeah.
Because she kept forming an opinion without the facts. And I thought that it was not the best way to form an opinion. You need to read what the presentation is about, and then you form your opinion. The whole thing was about laces have been around since 3500 BC. So we're talking about thousands of years, right? And apparently laces are outdated. That's essentially what they're saying. Air's not outdated, but laces are. So that's where I'm half and half, because the presentation it's definitely a reach, in my opinion. Now, you can't just put out something now, be like, look what we did. This is awesome. Like, nobody cares, apparently, even though I would. The mass majority, I feel like they need to like throw some weird spin onto it. Laces, like leather, it's not like not needed or not functional or any of that stuff. Laces give you the best options for you. But that's what this whole Adapt thing is about. It's supposed to be a one-size-fits-all type shoe, which most shoes aren't. Now, the thing that I like about this is that there is a function to it that is needed somewhere. And I think that the people that are kind of like not liking it or like heavily critiquing it as a giant gimmick, first off, gimmicks are everything. Gimmicks are everywhere. These PR people and business people and stuff like that, they always treat the word gimmick as if it's like a kick to the nuts, and it's not. It is what it is. It's a gimmick. Marketing's a gimmick. Marketing's part of gimmicks. Everything needs to sell. They don't make shoes for nothing. They're in this to make money. It's the same thing with movies. They don't make movies just for your entertainment. They make movies to make money. They want a return on their investment plus profit. And they want as much of it as possible. Same thing with Nike. Nike's trying to make as much money as possible. So if you don't think they're working on a way to cut down the cost of this thing right now as we speak, then you're crazy, because they want this to be mass marketed. I'm not saying that this is needed for basketball, because it's not. Laces will and have always worked. They always will. There's always going to be a market for it. But to just immediately discount this, it's illogical. And those are my first impressions on this Adapt BB. It's less about the shoe and more about what the shoe means, because there's so many shoes that, again, like I said this before, there's not really one shoe meant for like everybody, but there's a shoe that is meant for you. You just have to find it. And this is a shoe that they're kind of marketing as, hey, this could be for everybody, which is cool. But what it really means for other people that don't have the capability of using laces or Velcro, I think that that's more important. I feel like that should be at the forefront. Unfortunately, it's not, because people need to be tricked into liking things. They can't just like things because, oh, that's a great idea. Instead, they immediately like try to headbutt it. Those are my thoughts. What are other people's thoughts about this shoe?
Traveled Manor says, it's impressive to see how technology is being implemented into basketball shoes so quickly, and looks like a dressed down Jordan 33.
I completely agree with the technology thing, and I think that that's the best way to look at it. Like, what were those hoverboard things with the wheels on them? And you like lean or
The
whatever?
Heelys?
No, not Heelys. Like the next evolution of that was that hoverboard thing.
Oh yeah.
That thing that like rocks and stuff like that, right? Like, it's like these things, like who needs it? Realistically, who needs it? It's just cool.
Kicks with V says, got my pre-order in. Excited to see the new innovations and pivots made from the Hyper Adapt 1.0, which was designed for cross-training and court play anyway. Dig in the sleek design and the concentric traction on the outsole. To me, feels like a nice callback to the Air Force One.
That's exactly what it was. That and the Air Jordan 1 and stuff like that. And like he was saying, like, I don't know if he actually has the original Hyper Adapt. He sounds like he does. So I think that that's cool if you were able to experience that first one and now you're able to experience this one.
Caleb Cookster says, I don't understand why they wouldn't put accelerometers in the shoe. You're already connecting it to your phone. What's a couple bucks for some hardware? Why not give player stats, info on vertical jump, speed, steps, impact, quickness, etc.
All that costs money. So you're talking about increasing the cost.
Well, I'm wondering because they said that with this technology there will be upgrades. Like you don't have to buy the next one; they're automatically just going to let you update it.
Then for all we know, it's already in there. All I'm saying is that programming takes time, and in order to spend the time on that, that costs money. Like people again are always very quick to be like, why don't you just do this? Like, well, that costs somebody something, and then they have to be able to make that cost up.
Well, what I'm wondering though is, say it takes 3 months to get to the next.
Like the update?
Yes.
Okay.
If you play all the time, your shoe's going to be trashed before you get to the upgrade, right?
Maybe.
So I'm just saying the cost.
That's the iPhone syndrome. There is no beating technology. Our phones, we have, what number is this?
The X.
Okay, so this is the X. This is already outdated.
Yeah.
It was outdated the day we bought it, and you have to accept that. Otherwise, don't buy it.
My Life Your View says lost me at $350.
They lost me at that too, because everybody's asking, yo, are you going to review this? Hey, Nike, if you want my address, you got my email. But am I spending $350 on something for me to play in it so I could tell you you don't need it? No. I pay for this myself. It might, very, very maybe, it might break even as far as the revenue that the video earns. Maybe, but that's it. And who am I really benefiting? Because what market is looking at that? The one that can afford it. What we do is not for them. I mean, if they're budget friendly or they're budget conscious, then cool, like it is for you. But what we do is we try to teach consumers what their dollar is worth, so that you're not spending $350 or $150 or $250 or whatever the price of the shoe is. So you're not spending that a bunch of times trying to figure out what works for you. We're trying to help you cut down that process. That's all we're doing. We're making recommendations. You know what I mean? My recommendation on auto lacing shoes, you don't need it, period.
Super Mario 22 says, if these didn't have the self-lacing system, no one would buy them. The design is horrible.
That is one of the definition points of a gimmick. That's what I'm saying, is that you can't discount the fact that a gimmick is a gimmick. Everything's a gimmick. Everything. And that is not a bad thing.
Ben Higgins 5 says, as with any big tech innovation, it will most likely take some time for them to really get it right. But I think once they get it down and the price gets lower, they will be great.
Correct. And what you have to be able to think about, it's like the first run of an iPhone. There are bugs to work out, and the only way that they're able to know about all of them is if people use it. Not just the people that work there. I'm talking about like real people, like idiots like me, that I'm like, yo, this is way different than what I'm used to. What the do I do with this? Those people that need to be able to test these things out. When you put this in your pocket and you sit down and it bends in half, they probably weren't thinking about that when they made that giant iPhone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're like, crap. And so that's what I mean, is that you need people. You need a bunch of different experiences to be able to review something so that you can then apply it to the next version. So without Earl 1.0 and now Earl 2.0, or I should say without 1.0, there will be no 2.0. And without 2.0, there could not be 3.0. Which will be better and cheaper.
Tyler Bellows 1 says, as much as I love the concept, I'm not sure how they're going to keep the weight/heat down. Very curious to see if it works out.
Did he say the heat?
Yes.
Like from the mechanism itself? Well, somebody on WearTesters, the website, somebody in there was asking what happens if the battery runs out while you're wearing it.
I would hope that there'd be a fail-safe where it just
opens up.
Yeah,
I would hope so.
You don't end up trapped inside your shoe.
That was his whole thing, and I started laughing, being like, yo, what if?
Because that guy with the 33, he got stuck in his shoe.
That's a manually operated thing too. And so there's room for error on both sides. So this is what I'm saying. You got to bring this stuff to market. They've fine-tuned things with their small group of people as much as they can. And now they have to bring it to the masses that can afford this thing so that they can nitpick, basically. Without that stuff, there is no next one. I'm very curious, just in general, but I'm not curious to the point of like, yo, I need to try that. I just think it's so cool that, what year are we in, 2019? We're in a time right now where there is some really cool stuff going on. Is it needed? Maybe not for us, but for somebody it is, you know? And I think that that's the main thing that people don't grasp, is that everything is not only about you. Like when people say like, nobody wants this. Did you talk to everybody? It's just one of those things to accept things for what they are. You can question it, you can nitpick at it, you can do whatever it is that you want to do, but don't just hate it. Just see what it is. See what it's about.
I will say I'm glad that I read all the info because at first...
Oh, you are?
At first, you're right.
I know.
At first, I was reading it and I thought you had to do everything through the app on your phone. And they're talking about how when you're cooling down on the bench and you're jumping back into the game, all you have to do is click a button on your phone. And I'm sitting there being like, so all these players are going to run around with phones in their pockets? That's stupid.
That's the thing about the settings. It's so crazy.
Well, I didn't realize that the 2 dots on the side were actual buttons. I thought that was just letting you know, hey, the shoe is on.
No. Yeah, that's what I mean though, is that like everything that they can think of in their small group of people, they've thought about it. Now they need everybody else to like add in their input, and then they'll fix it again and again and again until you get something that's just like, you're just like, yo, like I can't believe that this is this, you know? And it doesn't happen unless you start somewhere. I think that we're in a really special place right now where like technology is just kind of like, I wouldn't say amazing, but it's definitely like one of those like, this is 2 different worlds coming together. It's crazy that Nike's the one to do it first, and in a way that's like small scale. Like they've gotten this machine down to, it fits in the arch of the shoe.
I'm not surprised that it's Nike.
Why?
Because I used to remember have the Nike watch and the little thing that would fit inside my shoe to track me.
Yeah,
and
the chip. Well, that's the thing, like that data stuff. They did it in the Hyperdunks. Remember that?
Yeah.
But that's the thing, though. That's different stuff. I'm talking
That's why I'm saying
talking about self-lacing.
the guy who's wondering why couldn't they include all those other features, I can picture them being able to upgrade it very easily to track that kind of information.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff to consider. There's lots of stuff to talk about. So if you have your thoughts and stuff like that, you know, feel free to leave them down below in the comment section. We would love to hear your guys' thoughts and your opinions on this stuff. Do you agree that things are just what they are? So people need to just kind of like chill out a little bit and have fun with things and stop being so serious, because nobody's forcing you to spend $350. If people could just be kids again for a little bit, look at things in just a very pure way, then I think that a lot of things in the world would be more appreciated than what they actually are. That's all I'm saying. Thank you so much for watching. I know that we didn't talk about the shoe like maybe some of you guys wanted, but again, this is not something for me. I'm not interested in playing in a laceless. I already did that and they f***ed up my feet. So
the 33s?
The 33s, yeah, I did that already.
But the next level.
The next
Stay
level,
tuned.
yeah, the next level is coming up. So that was a good shameless plug. That's something that I think is crazy, because that is a completely laceless shoe with no cables inside, and that does work. Again, that's another trip. Super expensive, not quite $350, but still expensive. We're in weird times, man. Just appreciate it. Ride the wave. That's what I always say. Ride the wave. That's what I like to do. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all the support. Again, let us know your thoughts down below in the comment section. And until next time, guys, have a good one.